March 19th, 2023 Economic Development Committee meeting. It is, I'm calling the meeting, and it is 5:40 in the evening. And Katie, something about?
Yeah, this is digitally recorded
Broadcast live
and
and
broadcast
digitally
live,
recorded.
yes.
Okay,
So,
okay.
watch your mouse.
And I'll write that down, okay. And everybody has an agenda?
Yep.
Okay, we do have a quorum that needs to be recognized. And, take out some more. There we go. So for those who are watching, we're welcoming Doug Cormier. And Doug and his wife Joanne own the Hubbardston Candle Company. They've been in town for 23 or 28 years?
23 years.
23 years. And we're very excited to have him as a new member of our committee, so welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for volunteering. And I'm sorry if I nagged you to death on it.
No, I'm glad I could actually finally participate.
Good, terrific. Okay. So we're gonna pass on the minutes for this evening. We'll take a vote next week, next month, and we'll go on with the agenda. New business, first on the agenda is assignment of committee projects, and I think I shared with everybody that there was no response, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. And I'll probably just contact everybody individually so that they can get started, rather than wait until the next meeting to discuss with them what their projects are gonna be. What does anybody think about that?
What were the list of projects? I'm sorry.
Oh, Katie.
I know, it's like one of those, I know we have, sorry, it's been a very long day.
It's a lot.
Yeah, the Welcome Hubbardston signs. Yeah, it's one of those, maybe, I don't know about delegating, but yeah, like grouping a couple people together to.
We could do that. I mean, I did say in the email that if I didn't, if they were undecided or whatever, I would, I would do my best to accommodate them, but if it ended up, I would absolutely just go ahead and assign them. But I'll speak to each one individually.
Yeah.
And don't you agree that it's better to get them rolling on something than wait until August meeting to discuss this? Christopher, Katie, Doug?
I agree. Yeah, probably.
Okay. And like I said in the email, I have a lot of documentation. It's not as if I'm saying to somebody, here's what you're doing, see you later. I could sit with them, walk them through it, and
Yeah.
give them whatever materials I have, et cetera, and then of course, be there to assist everybody. Okay. Any comments or anything about that?
Yeah, some of those are big bites.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
some of them are gonna need more than one person.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just mean some of those are like, yeah. If you don't know what, yeah, it's got, yeah. I'm just thinking like somebody brand new looking at that, they're like, I don't even know what this means.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what is this?
Exactly, but
So.
that's why I said in that email, I'm happy to, these are all things that I've been working on, so I do have.
So, one of the places, I guess backing up a little further, most of my non-commercial experience comes from the nonprofit world, which is, I know, a little different than government. And I know this is technically government, but maybe looking at this from a nonprofit world view might make a little sense.
Mhm.
Because like when we've pulled on a new board member in the organizations I've been involved in the past, we've done a formalized onboarding process with like a mentor to like help you get to know the people you're working with and what you're actually working on, the scope of your authority, and just have somebody to check in with periodically.
Wouldn't I be to do that anyhow? Wouldn't that be my responsibility anyhow? I anticipate
Yeah,
that.
it can be, and like with a nonprofit board, you do absolutely have a chair of the board, but there's usually somebody in that situation that you kind of get assigned to in a way to kind of groom you along.
You wanna volunteer?
It might make sense. Well, and I don't, you don't do everybody to one person, because the whole
Right.
point is to try to make
Okay.
for whoever it is that's helping out with that. And it might be worth thinking about doing something like that for some of the new folks, just to help
Mhm.
make it approachable. And I don't think anybody who's new to the board is gonna have a lot of success if they get handed one of these items and they're not set up with
Sure.
somebody who's in government. Even if it's not somebody who is specifically from the EDC,
Okay.
just somebody in government would help, because you don't know what you can ask for and what you can get and who can help with what, unless you've kind of been around town hall a little bit.
Mhm. So where would we find such a person?
Well, I could take one person, but then
Okay.
we need to find some other people or
Okay.
other volunteers who've been around town a little bit more.
I mean, I'll definitely volunteer to do those things that aren't quite as government, fine, cause I have very little experience. Katie, can you take on one or two?
Yeah, I can, if people wanna reach out to me and have questions, I can gladly run down the gauntlet of
That's great.
whatever the problem
Okay.
is. I'm pretty open to
Mhm.
phone calls and texts, like, okay, what is the problem? Let's walk
Yes.
through this.
Okay.
Let's figure this out together.
Also, by sharing it, you don't run into an open meeting problem.
Mhm. I attended that MMA thing yesterday, about the, kind of like an update on the open law, and it was very interesting. And we had been told certain things from previous employees that actually were not suitable, about contacting one another and that kind of thing. And it was just very interesting. There were a lot of questions raised, and I encourage everybody and I'll send out an email to those who are not here tonight, to look at it. You could go to their website and you could look at the meeting. And there were a lot of questions asked. I asked 2 questions, they were answered. It was really well done. I know you just took the, all of the testing and tutorials, but, if you want a good refresher or just to find a little bit more in depth.
Sure.
There are things that were really, that had not been in the training courses that we all took, that I don't recall. They may have been, but I took those tests 4 or 5 years ago. So anyhow, I'd like to encourage everybody on the committee to go and check that out. It was very good. 1 hour and 8 minutes. And it flew like that. It really did. It was well done. Yeah. Okay, so when you say share this, are you talking about sharing this on our drive, on our Google Drive? The committees after each meeting, should it be shared?
What do you mean by it?
Well, you said, just when we were talking about having mentors working on these different things, and you said it's not a bad idea to share this because of the open meeting laws. I thought that's exactly what you said.
No, I
Yeah, but
meant,
not in that way.
I meant sharing the load in terms of people
Oh,
being
yeah.
mentors for the new folks.
Okay.
So in other words, each one of us takes one, basically. Regina and John are a couple, so they can be counted as kind of one, but you gotta be careful, cause you don't wanna go too far down that rabbit hole, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But in other words, pairing Doug up with one of us, Josie up with one of us, and then maybe Doug and Regina up with one of us.
Is there any sensibility in us prioritizing that list and doing it, since there's only 3 of us, let's say, to assist or mentor? Is there would it make sense to prioritize the list and kind of work, in different, work with our person for a little bit of time, and then
Yeah.
once they get, kind of grasp it, we can move on to phase 2 of it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'll prioritize it then. Or do we wanna do that now?
I mean, we could.
Let's do it. We've got plenty of time. This is it's very short.
It's fine by me, whatever we wanna.
Okay.
Put names in a hat.
Yeah.
Or just.
Yeah.
somebody- Or is this gonna be like kickball in 5th grade?
This is what.
Let's pick last.
Well, let's at least for now prioritize the list itself.
Of what's most important.
Yes, and I'd still like to give everybody an opportunity to say if there's anything in particular that they want to, that they have an interest in doing, and then we'll just assign, one of us to it, okay?
Well, I think right off the top, the FAQ for residents regarding short-term rentals would be best suited
Yes.
to be handled by me.
Okay,
Because it's easier for me to put something like that together and bounce it off Mark and Duffy and
okay,
all those folks.
okay.
I just don't want anything to do with welcome baskets to the new people. That
Okay.
is mind boggling and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Not that I don't think it's deserving or whatever, I don't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole.
Okay.
It's too much.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem doing that, but I don't know if that's a prioritized one.
No, I don't think that should be a prioritized one for, I think, the other one was it was further down, not the website, business tours, short-term, the business guide, the small business guide, I
Yes.
think probably, and that and the meet and greet should probably be kind of up there.
Okay,
The welcome to Hubbardston sign, until those things get moved, I think we
Yeah.
should kind of put that on a
Okay.
pause for a second until that new sign comes in and the other one gets moved. You know what I mean? Cause
Yeah.
then we're kinda trying to advertise something that's gonna move.
right. And even though I might be mentoring someone, I'm still gonna take one or two of these on myself also, so I can definitely do, continue with the baskets. That one, the signs are gonna hold off for now. The business guide, that should be pretty easy, that should be easy because it's all in the clerk's office, she's having a hard time finding any stuff. I've talked to her about it,
For what?
she can't find the business guide.
Oh,
Yeah, she can't find the business guide, and I can't remember what else. Oh, the business list, getting the master list was pretty difficult also, the businesses.
okay.
But we'll get onto that also later, there's a couple of things to talk about on that. Nothing terrible. So let me go to the rest of the list. Okay, Katie, you and I could keep doing our tours, right?
Yeah,
Scheduling and
I am
managing.
fine with doing tours.
Okay, so-
I have no problems doing that.
Okay, I mean, that might not be a priority, but it's so easy to do, we'll
Yeah.
just keep on doing them.
Yeah, I keep showing up at places whether they want me to or not.
Yeah, me too, I know, I'm telling you, ad nausea, they're gonna lock the doors when they see me coming. Short-term rentals, we got that. I think that rec cards and and that website thing, I think that's probably something we want everybody included in, if we're gonna do such a thing. So,
The
we'll
rack
put
cards
that-
you're talking about with all the business
Yeah,
cards on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
and I think that maybe we'll hold off on that until the next meeting, cause I'd like
Yeah.
everybody's input on that, that's a very new venture.
Yes.
And I think that it's important to include everybody. And the websites, that'll be an easy conversation, really. I know that you cover a bunch of, ways of advertising,
Yeah, I
But-
put things on different,
but I just want to find, a couple of, high trafficked websites that might just consider having a link to us. Whether we do that in, trade-off, where we would do the same thing with them, I don't know, but I think that we need to investigate that and look at it, because you can tell from those numbers that I generated from that website, there's a lot of people who sent their information.
yeah.
And that was just going from one website to the destination Hubbardston that I did. So I like that idea, but we'll hold off on that. So we've got, website links will be I'll call this the second tier.
Can't even find your original email, my god.
Mine, to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
It was
I know
either
it-
June 20th or June 25th, one or the other.
Okay, so maybe that's why I don't think I went back far enough.
And the rat cards.
Oh.
Okay. Whoa. 1, 2, oh.
There we go.
Yeah, and the meet and
Oh,
greet, and
yeah.
I get, I think while we're here, we should talk about it for a little bit, because maybe a meet and greet is just a whole wrong idea. Maybe we need to find, get some visibility some other ways. I mean, I know that we picked the bad day of the week to have it on a Friday, but our first one was on Friday. And when we decided that first one, you and I went through some lengthy conversations about the day of the week and a lot of kind of research, and it seemed fine. But maybe it's not. So is it something as simply as just changing the day of the week to hold it, or does maybe just the wording isn't good, but we do have to think of some ways of, getting some visibility with folks.
Yeah, maybe changing the name rather than a meet and greet, maybe something more business orientated.
Oriented.
Huh?
Oriented. Not tated.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all
Again, I've been mowing lawn. I'm so dehydrated. My daughter actually thought I was gonna pass out today. I'm like, I think I might. I don't know.
Mr. Bean driving.
No, I'm using a push lawnmower and weed whacker and everything else. It's all manual. So it's
Any ideas for something else that it can be called? But I think that people are looking for something that's just kind of relaxed and social and meeting each other. That's what I got from the people that I spoke to about it. So, I don't know. I don't know.
well, our first one we only had 5, 6 businesses show up. So
Yeah, and maybe a dozen people at the most.
yeah.
So. I mean, our surveys and things like that aren't gonna introduce people,
So
to
I
us.
understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? We do have to find a way of getting everybody in one space, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, should we do a barbecue? Should we do I don't know.
No, I think it still should be simple and easy. 'Cause again, we're all a volunteer group and we have no budget and yeah. So, there's that.
We did have a budget, by the way, and they had it,
Okay.
yeah. Well, then, you know what, then maybe we ought to do one more attempt over at the Pinecrest Lodge on a different day of the week.
I'm whatever works. We can try it. I'm not against it.
All right. I'll stick some of that.
I just worry that maybe a meet and greet, something to encourage businesses to come by changing the name of it. That's the only or the title of it.
Well, that's what I was
the only
thinking,
reason,
but I
yeah.
don't know something that has that kind of relaxed informality, let's
Yeah.
say. Meet and greet, that's, easy to, I mean, what do they call it, what do the chambers call it, like an after hours?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
after
an
hours.
after hours or some kind
What
of.
about phrasing it that way?
We can.
Well, I was actually about to ask, would it make sense to just partner with the chamber or one of the chambers on doing something like this? Because then you get to lean on them for their ability to promote it, and they're possibly paying for some of the food and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just thinking about our businesses and if that's something that they would really want to attend. I'm not against it. I'm not against, I mean, Nate has talked
I don't know how
about-
many of our businesses are actually in the chamber.
Right. I
Is what basically it boils down
And
to.
they're very expensive, joint
Well,
chambers. They are.
Yeah, if you're on the lower tiers.
For a whole, I mean,
For some of the businesses, yeah, it could be, but.
what if we did our simple one and then we worked with Nate on another one? Because also with Nate's people, the networking that he has, they need many months out, because they got busy schedules. So maybe we could schedule something for September, when the kids are all back in school, we know everybody's done with their vacations. I think our first one was in September,
It was.
okay? And do that, because the other thing is, what do you think? And we'll do an after hours,
It's fine.
okay?
I thought in the last meeting, Nate said he wanted to reach out to chambers and
Yeah,
the locals to see.
yeah,
if they would-
he was trying to put something together, but like Whitney said, they need
Yeah,
a
that
long
long,
period
I
of
see.
time.
And here was
to-
the other thing, one of the reasons that I was nervous about that happening was when he described to me, or told me about who he wanted to include, I said, that's more people than we have show up.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to have, 6 or 7 different people, whatever, and we've got 3 people showing up. That's not gonna,
Yeah.
okay, so that was another reason.
Yeah, so if we give it more time and be able to advertise it better towards the businesses,
Yeah.
then hopefully,
So we'll do a kind of small intimate one with our local, and then we'll work with Nate on what he wants to do with the big powerhouses.
Yeah.
Okay?
cause those people are the ones that can help with, like websites
sure.
and fundings
Right,
and
yeah.
things like that for somebody that wants to grow.
Yes.
But a lot of our businesses are very small and don't I'm not gonna say don't understand, I don't mean it like that, but like don't realize what this kind of stuff can help you do.
I know.
And that's what I mean, so
It's
it's like
scary to
it's,
them too.
huh?
It's scary to them as well.
Some of it, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's, for some people, technology
Like the unregistered
going, yeah.
businesses.
Well, exactly, and the ones that are, a lot of cash, I don't even like saying this, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure, and it frightens them. I mean, I even thought the first time that we were doing it, I thought, and I think there was a little bit of feedback, like, why do you want me there? We just want you to come and meet the businesses, But as we're doing our tours also, let's let everybody know whatever we're doing, and let's try and get those tours in, Katie, maybe twice a month now.
That's fine.
Okay, and each, that we talk about that, make sure that they're, that they'll be attending,
Yep.
okay?
Let me know what works for you and where you wanna go.
Okay.
I'll drive.
Okay, any questions or comments on that? No? Okay. Next on the agenda is ideas from members, well, we're gonna skip that on the numbers. We'll do that next time, and then Nate is not here. So we're not gonna do events and partnerships, we go on to old business, meet and greet, we just covered that. And so, now a little bit about the, what we're working on for the, with the town center, with all of that. And our visibility, and reaching out and talking to our residents about it, how can we assist with what's going on? Do you want surveys from us?
I was about to say, that sounded like several different things all
Yeah, I
at
know,
once.
it kinda was, it kinda was.
Are you talking about I'm confused. Are you talking about
Here.
what's going on in the town center, the reconstruction, or are you talking
No,
about
this our zone, our stuff, our
Okay,
zone,
the
yes.
the bylaw.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
alright. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm confused. Are we talking, which one are we talking about?
Yeah, we talked about, engaging the community, survey, public listening sessions, giving the public time to digest and all of that, okay? So, where do you think that that's something that's actionable now to start doing?
Yeah, I thought that was something that,
Have we even gotten back on the list with MRPC with, and?
well, we will once we get through the current, but there's still some stuff that we can do on our own. I thought we had talked about, and I thought you and Katie actually took an action item at the last meeting to come up with a preliminary list of uses to,
We did that preliminary list of uses.
Okay,
Yes,
to-
we
to
sat
create a
down
survey.
with John and we did
Okay.
We sat
that.
down with John and we
Yeah.
have that, correct.
Okay.
And then, yes, I'm sorry, and then I did follow up with Nate and I asked him if there was any, a specific way that should be presented. Is it just here's the list, here's what we found out, or, does it
Yeah,
have to
there's
be
specific
addressed?
ways for that to be presented. If you have the preliminary list, I can start putting that together with some of the stuff that we've done for
Okay,
some of the other
okay.
zoning surveys.
To be honest, we did 4 towns sitting here, I'd done all 8, I'd pulled 8 of them.
Okay,
Remember, we did 4, and we
Mhm.
found that there was like such a small amount of difference
Mhm.
between any of them, that the other 4 weren't gonna check, and the 4 that we did do had a combination of those that had water, those that didn't have water.
mhm.
Mhm.
And I think that our lead, the one that we were most following was Westminster.
I believe so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If I remember
Okay.
correctly, that was a while ago that we
There
sat
were
down and did
1
that.
or 2 things, that we saw that we wanted to include, for sure. that I thought were interesting, that were not part of any of the others, and I have them written down separately. And so if you want me to just email that to you?
Yeah, if you guys send me that information, I can work on taking that to the next level.
Okay, sure.
Before the next meeting, and hopefully having a draft survey for folks to
Okay,
comment on.
that'll be great. Okay, we'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, because ultimately, there's still a lot that we can do without having to use MRPC on that.
Yeah.
And we need to finish more of the rural opportunity overlay before then. And that's currently in Mark and I's hands to try to figure something out, because we ultimately have a problem with our levels of review in this town,
Mhm.
because it's full-on special permit or nothing, and that's not the current modern way to think about doing things. So we're trying to work around that, and that requires a lot of thinking.
Okay.
So
Okay.
But we are hopeful to get that one on for the
yeah,
special.
I think we can.
Yeah, in October-ish.
Yeah, well, I think what's gonna have to happen, what's gonna have to go on for that to happen is, we're gonna have to make the recommendation back to the planning board, which I think would mean a joint meeting, maybe in the planning board's second August meeting.
Okay.
So maybe a joint EDC planning board meeting for the second meeting in August, assuming there aren't all kinds of crazy problems with vacations or pending special permits.
August 2nd or the second meeting of
The
August?
second meeting of August.
Okay, fine.
So that would be the third Thursday. And
Okay.
that'd be a good time to talk through that and kind of have a final draft from the boards. And then take that and present that to the public.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, well, that sets a firm timeline on it too, which I think will help.
Okay, great, good. I'll put that together, I'll put it in a form that's, and send it to you.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Any other comments, questions? Doug, do you have any questions about what we're talking about?
I don't,
Okay.
kind
The-
of keeping up with the YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's what's
So,
great. I mean,
yeah,
he's been
yeah.
really keeping up, so
Yeah.
that's a huge help. Okay. And then last on our agenda is the business applications update, and in fact, they hadn't been being done.
The one with the email?
Correct. Nope. So when I went and spoke to Candace,
Yeah,
she had only two
with the email?
that had the emails on them.
Okay,
It had never been done before.
okay.
So I talked to her about that and told her, that it was, we'd like that done, that it was passed in 2019
Yeah,
to be included
yeah,
when they were doing a reprint of the applications. And then I spoke to Nate, and I said, can we put out like an email to the businesses? And he said there might be a legal thing, issue with that, telling them that they have to come in and do that. So I said, well, what if we do something like, hey, if you wanna be the first to know about what's going on with, whatever, come on in or, email the town clerk with your, social media account, addresses and that kind of thing, and see if we can encourage it that way. But I think that there are limits, Christopher, what I understood is right, about what we can ask them to do,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, cause they don't have to put the email or
Right.
any of that stuff down. We're
Well, what a
just
big
hoping.
help it would help us.
Yeah,
I mean, my gosh. So, so that's where we are, yeah, only two. There were only two applications.
that had the actual
Correct.
email line on
Correct.
there. So they're
Yes.
still using the old one
Yeah, well, now she's doing it all.
with the new one.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cause I know Lori and I sat down and managed to play with it to get it in there.
Wow.
In a spot that made kind of sense, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep, that's okay, that's all right, it's getting done
Okay.
now, and, we move forward with it. And if Nate wants to put out, such an email, blast to the businesses, that's fine, but, from now on, they'll be included, and that's
Yeah.
great, and we'll just continue to work on the list.
and hopefully they'll actually put the information on the
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, it is difficult really sometimes to find some of this information
Yeah.
out, so it would be so helpful, really.
Asking
Yeah.
for it is half the battle, though.
Yes, I know, I know.
If you don't ask for it, you definitely won't get it.
Exactly, exactly. And I just thought, oh wow, when is that next reprint? They'll be included, you know, and no.
Yeah. Well, I think with, they just get printed off as needed. They don't like print the
But
stack
they
of
do,
them.
but they do at the bottom, they say revised, and they do get revised periodically.
Yeah, but they don't
They're
like print
updates.
them. They're like saved and they go to the file and print it out as
Right.
needed, so.
Right,
They just have to make sure they're doing the right file,
right,
not the old file.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully, fingers
Okay.
crossed.
All right. Well, that kind of covers our agenda for the evening, unless anybody has any comments or community concerns. I think I mentioned about Peaceful Acres, and I think that we should make a trip up there and see if there's any way that we can assist her and just see where she wants to go with it. Because I did see, right away, I saw that somebody had made a comment saying, geez, we were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
Remember, we were just
that
talking about
was-
this place the other day. And it's, it's like a hidden gem or a hidden treasure. So I think that that's something that we, should follow up on. I was telling them earlier, I've been there 3 times and called her 4 times and never got a return call, but what's on their website does not depict what's going on there. It seems very closed up, it seems very, unmaintained for what it could be. But again, that was her, I think that was kind of,
Yeah, she's probably having a rough time cleaning up after all the
Gosh,
storms,
of
cause she
course
does
she is.
most of the work herself,
yes, she
you know,
does.
so.
I mean, I thought for sure I was gonna find her on that tractor again, but
Yeah.
she hasn't been there at
Mowing.
all on the tractor.
Just look for the lawnmower. She's out there somewhere.
But even when you think of it in terms of how we can help her, but wouldn't it also be nice if the kids in town had a great place to go swimming? That would be nice, really, and it's a beautiful, it was like a real big in-ground pool, and then she covered it. It's like a Olympic-sized pool in there. It's just really nice. And I think that a lot of people might enjoy, going there and swimming. So it would be nice for the young folks here, and it would be nice for her maybe to, if she sold like a monthly pass for $15 or something like that, Nobody's expecting her to be open at 9 o'clock at night or anything, but she was only open for a couple of hours during the afternoon, I think.
Yeah, it's like a logistic thing though, well, not,
Well,
it's
also-
a liability
Insurance.
for
Oh,
insurance
sure,
and
but
stuff
she's
like
got that because she offers it to the people staying there. So she has that. I think a bigger issue is the road getting there. It was completely washed out.
Oh, I would imagine
And
with all the
holy-
monsoons we've had, I'm
Wow.
surprised we haven't had more washouts.
It was just like, I had to go to the bathroom as soon as we got up there. I was like,
Yeah.
holy smokes, it was like shaking it out.
Yeah.
Really. It was really just not a,
Well, that's her road, so she would have to
I know.
fix it, so.
It's 200 acres?
Yeah, she's got quite the parcel. But yeah, that's a private road, so
Yeah.
that's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's all dirt, so and it's like on a hill, so I can imagine with the rains that we've been having, how
Really
bad it
tough.
probably is.
Yeah. It was really tough. I mean, yeah.
If we go out there, I'll take the truck. We're not taking my car.
It appeared to me this last time that I was there that there were more people there than the couple of times that you had been together and the previous times that I had been there by myself.
In their trailers, the
Correct.
the seasonals?
A lot more to the left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually that.
Well,
main
yeah, she
road.
was moving, yeah, 'cause she was opening that stuff up over there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, she was cleaning it up and making more spots and making it nice over there for more seasonals.
I think maybe even doing it, 1 or 2 of those little things into glamping. Something
The
like glamping
cabins, yeah.
Something like that,
Yep, yeah, 'cause she had the cabins too.
But it
so.
seems like there's many more people there. But I just thought it was really interesting that right away somebody said, we're just talking about that place. And, and like that, so and listen, it's the only lodging we have here. I mean, that's one way to look at it also, right?
Oh, there's now like 6 places on Airbnb.
I know. And gee, we didn't publicly tell anybody they could go ahead and do it, but they just did.
Well, yeah, 'cause if you're gonna rent, you're gonna rent.
And where are we with that, Christopher? I know that, I think at
The rules don't say not to do it.
yeah, so we're gonna let it run. let it go.
Well, nothing we can do about it anyway.
Well, I think though also that we do want to talk about, if, you know, that's the case and we're ready to kind of, you know, publicize it, or not publicize it, but, you know, it's a done deal, is the percentage that we're going to have coming back to the city. I know you were stuck on 3,
I'm stuck on 0 still, but
well,
but the whole thing is that has to go in front of the town, so it doesn't matter what I want, or what you want, or what anyone thinks.
if
It's gotta
it
go in front
were
of the
Is
town.
that a town meeting, or is that just adopting the state rules at the select
I'm not
board?
sure, I've been told both, so we need some clarification.
I have-
on it.
Yeah, cause
I-
there's some state tax stuff, like meals tax and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
select board can just adopt the state law.
Yeah,
So I don't know if hospitality falls under that.
I have, in all the states that we've helped people in with it, never has it had to go to a town
to the
meeting.
town meeting, cause
Ryan never indicated that to us
somebody
at
did.
all.
I'm trying to remember who it was that said it had to go in front of a town meeting, and I can't remember who it was, cause it was way too long ago.
Well, let me ask this, Christopher, if there were no percentage coming to the town, would we still have to go to town meeting?
For,
If there's nothing being taxed, no, that would be, there's nothing to go to town meeting on now.
Well, I thought you just said that this has to go in front of town meeting.
No, if town meeting approval was required for instituting a hospitality tax, which
Okay.
I'm not sure it is,
Okay. But if there were no tax,
then there's nothing to talk about.
then we don't have to go to town meeting. Then that might be our deciding factor, but it's a shame that the town, you know.
well, it's one of those, there's not a huge loss, cause it's only 6. Granted, there could be more at some point, and there
Well-
could be a lot at some point,
Yeah,
who
there-
knows?
There is an increase in inspectional load, and with the trouble we have funding stuff like that and land use, I think it might make sense to look at something that's reasonable or something that's more related to it. In some places,
Something
they-
reasonable in what way? What do you mean? Oh,
something that's not too much money. In some places, they actually do a housing inventory tax instead of just the hospitality tax on it, where like 5 or 10% goes to whatever the local affordable housing program is. Part of the reason they do that is because having Airbnb does, or short-term rentals, does reduce the overall housing stock for affordable
Right.
housing.
Mhm.
So in some places that's done as a compromise, where it's, yeah, we are gonna offer this, but we are gonna dedicate
Yeah.
this tax that comes in off of this for programs to, excuse me,
God bless you.
to help establish affordable housing down the road.
Right.
So, cause there's a lot of stuff that you can do with grant money to help out with affordable housing issues. Not low income, but affordable housing issues, where we're just in kind of trouble about it, cause we just don't have the staff to go after the grants, so.
Okay. Well, I will remind everybody, and Doug, I don't know, you might have heard this in one of the other meetings when I had looked at the Airbnbs that we had, and this was a couple of years ago, and looked at how many reservations they have and that kind of thing. I sent that information to Dan Galante, who was the chairperson of the select board at the time, and he thought it was, I mean, he said, oh my gosh, he said in a month we can pay for a shift for the police department in a month of rentals. So, you know, it's a little bit of money, but it's a little bit of money, you know, so so I'd like to see the town get that. Yeah, so, but if it is gonna be the holdup, if it is gonna be the, the pushback or whatever, then I don't know, we should talk about it a little bit more.
Suppose nothing to hold up, you either tax it or you don't, so.
Right.
Just what's the process and how does it go about, like how does it get implemented, whether it's something that goes in front of the select board, or does it have to go?
Right. Well, will you find that out for us, please?
I will ask Nate.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how else to find that out. He's gonna dig into it.
Who sets the other tax rates?
That's the way that works.
Who sets the other tax rates, like the meals tax? I know we don't have one here, but,
Who does that?
That's adopting the state statute,
yeah, what board does it though?
select board.
Select board, okay. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that would be a select board as well.
Okay, okay. But again, you know, that was not, you know, we were under the impression from many years ago when we approached Ryan about it, it was like simply get a number to me of what you wanna charge for that tax. And while we were sitting there, he was on his computer, he was in there, and he was looking about registering the town and that kind of thing. We literally thought we had the go-ahead, that everything was fine. So, I mean, fine that, you know, we couldn't kind of blast it out before now, but unfortunately that we didn't find out what the process was, cause it sure said, you know, sounded to us, am I right?
Yeah.
We were
like
all
it
good to go.
was- Yeah, like it was somehow magically implemented, and I wasn't sure how that happened, and I was like, I don't, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like an absolute, yeah, no, you're good, and he literally said, just come back with a figure.
Yeah,
And we had several, we discussed it over 2 meetings, and went from
Yeah.
7 to whatever, went down to 3, came back and reported 3%.
yeah, cause I think that was even like, we're talking like before I was even on the select board.
It was
Like,
before
this
you
was,
were
yeah,
on the
so
select
you're talking,
board.
this was a while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then it was really very, very recently where we found out, I think it was probably from Christopher or, you know, when he came on board, that there's a little bit more to it than just saying, you know, go have at it, you know?
The zoning prohibited it,
Yeah,
but that's changed now.
yeah. Because we did do that with the short-term rentals. We didn't, and in the short-term rental conversation, we never even mentioned Airbnb. I don't recall, because I spoke at that meeting, you know, from Zoom, and I don't recall it being, you know, any word about VRBO or Airbnb. It was simply short-term rentals, and, you know, that was great
Yeah,
that we got that through.
There was gonna be a paragraph that mentioned them specifically for the purpose of excluding them. But that got taken out of the draft and what went to town meeting.
Right, right. Okay. All right, well, anything else from anybody? Want to say anything? No?
nope, I'm good.
Well, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, okay. Meeting adjourned at 6:23.